Coffee. Every time I look at coffee, I'm reminded of you and your eternal beauty and passion and determination and most of all, love. Sure, I might have stopped drinking coffee, but every time I see a cup of coffee, I'll always be reminded of you, my love. Control. We get frustrated when things don't go our way, but we can only control so much. At times, we just gotta give it away and trust that others in power will aid in the process. Chambea. La juventud chambea y perrean hasta abajo, sea en party o en sus cuartos, en tiempos de cuarentena, hacen lo que les da la gana por siempre, como el conejo malo, pero les gustaría estar afuera en la janga o la playa y se la ven malas en tiempos de cuarentena. Coprógrafo. El escarabajo coprógrafo se comía lo que veía, pero él quería algo diferente, una vida diferente. Por eso siempre miraba a los seres humanos y otros animales a su alrededor, buscando nuevas opciones de vida. Tristemente nunca encontró eso que quería, porque en un día inesperado su vida fue arrebatada por un niño que corría por los bosques. Confidence. I often lose confidence in my abilities, especially those which pertain to academia and philosophy. So I try to get informed and practice that which I read, in some form or another, be it in life or art. Do I always succeed? Of course not. But I'll never get anything done if I don't try. Coquito. Danny hace un coquito cabrón, so does Georgie, and many Mesa boys. I need to catch up or at least try in order to provide a bit of an experience. Constelaciones. Llegamos a las constelaciones a través de actos que algunos llaman satánicos, y es aquí arriba donde encontramos paz y libertad, dos elementos que jamás nos quitarán en estos momentos. Curls. I look at your curls and your curves and my love, I continue to fall in love, so much that I'd marry you right here, right now, but God, how difficult has life become that we can't even do that. Codes. They talk in codes as to not be understood by their opponents, but some people would rather cheat than to play fair, and that's what shamed the Patriots and Astros for quite some time, which is why they continue to be hated to this day. Cariño. Un poquito de cariño, eso es lo que quiero ahora mismo, pero eso es un gran pedido en tiempos de cuarentena. Celebrity. We idolize celebrity and often forget that they're human too, and when we do, we're often late to the party as they've already committed a terrible act to others or people around them. Constable. The town's constable often tried to stop criminals, but his limited power never allowed him to take some rather necessary actions in the gangster-filled city. So one night, he decided to become something he often deemed inappropriate. He became a hard-boiled vigilante that many would call the Brand, for his unique way of marking criminals. Combustible. Me acuerdo de aquellos días de inocencia, días en los que el combustible no bajaba de 27 centavos y no subía más de 35 centavos. Esos días fueron fáciles, no había preocupaciones, pero se fueron rápidos, porque eso es lo que pasa en intermedio. Christmas. I remember that early Christmas morning playing Mario Kart on the GameCube from 2 a.m. all the way to 8 a.m. It was one of the most exciting Christmases for me because my parents had finally gifted me the proper console. It was one of the most exciting Christmases for me because I was finally coming back to gaming. One of the first art forms I fell in love with. I'll never forget that Christmas. It is probably the reason why I would end up buying so many GameCube games for the years to come. It is also one of the reasons why I still want to make at least one game in the near future, because I too want to give people a fun Christmas memory in the form of a video game. Combine. I often think of combining poetria with some of the other art forms I love so dearly, much like the many multimedia artists I often interview, but I often suffer from very little patience and the need to get things done fast, and feeling of not being good enough at one art form, or worthy enough of practicing one art form. So I often end up doing nothing, becoming a disappointment and failure to no one but myself. Circle. Like Mac, I find myself swimming in circles of emotions and goals that I wish to accomplish, but I often won't do much in order to do so. which lead to the circles of emotions that often tell me the worst of the worst. And yes, you know what I mean by that. I try to not pay attention to those thoughts often, but I gotta confront them in order to progress. Cycle. Life goes on a cycle, and I'm a dumb hamster who doesn't know how to work things out in order to proceed to the next stage in life. Like Krillin and Yamcha, I'm just stuck in one level while the rest around me continue to evolve. College. These words cannot be any more clear. Don't do it if you're being obligated to do it. Will you meet new people and create new experiences? Yes, most likely. Will you study and or find your passion? The percentages are all over the place. So be sure that you really know your passions and get as much information on college as possible. The best piece of advice I can give if you go to college: have a balance. Computer. I'm often tied to you. I mean, look at me right now. I'm using you. At times, I wish I wasn't so tied to you. So I use notebooks often and escape the grid, because a little rest from it and from you can really be wonderful. Courage. In the past, I lacked courage for a lot of things. Today, I still do, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to get out there a bit more. I'm trying to explore new hobbies. I'm trying to go out more often. I'm trying to visit other countries more often. I'm trying to get out of my shell and become an exploring butterfly. Choice. We often find ourselves arguing with others across the internet and fail to realize that we made the choice to do so. Sure, the argument was found across the timeline, but we decided to engage with someone whose intentions we don't even understand to the fullest. It is an interesting dynamic that I'm sure will continue to be explored. I just wonder how the future will look like and what all of these studies will tell us about ourselves. Chaos. These last 4 years have been nothing but chaos. I wonder what else life has in store for us. I just hope we're ready for it. Clutter. I try to declutter the mind as I write these rhymes, but I often find that there's more inside, and that's not even taking into consideration what can be found in my station, where much of the clutter finds its foundation. Caterpillar. I'm just a caterpillar, a caterpie if you will, who's closely turning into a metapod. I should already be a butterfree by now, but I often use harden, growing my defenses, being lazy, and failing to move on to the next phase of my life. Chapter. What will the next chapter in my life look like? I honestly don't know, but there are quite a few options and a lot of aspects that should be taken into consideration. I wish it wasn't that difficult to decide, but life's just not that easy. I just hope I make a good decision. I don't want to be stuck doing shit I don't like for a good portion of my life, like I did in my 20s. Care. Though I don't show it as much as you do, I do care for you, a lot. I'm sorry I'm bad at communication. I guess writing it all away takes away from the talking.